A swing band?
Oh.
Yes, we're live.
Okay.
I was just listening to Hurricane.
I was able to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we saw,
Wesley, is this yours? Where?
Where was that?
Back in there, no, it's still going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were sitting there, she's hang on.
We
Don't.
have chairs.
Don't get used to it, Wesley.
We have chairs.
Don't get used to it.
Supposed to wait a minute, kids.
Yes, yes. Do you guys plan to wear blue together? Is that, you know, like teenagers do, you and your son?
All right.
I would say there's 75% chance that guys are going to wear blue. That's true. It's a blue, black, that's also my closet. With an occasional.
They had said a thing about, I think it's either Zuckerberg or some other guy, all white shirts and black pants. So this one, there's no question when we have to wear them.
Takes that out of the equation.
Let's talk about school uniforms.
Yeah.
Do your kids have that or not? They do have that.
I just had to buy my daughter new shoes because she just, we were trying to hold on to the one pair. She had busted right through, the soles were coming off, toes were coming. So we had to break down and buy a new pair of shoes right at the end of the school year, which is not the time to buy new school
She can wear them in the summer. Break it again.
shoes. Should be growing out of them by the time the new school year starts.
All the girls' feet are quicker than the rest of them.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily going fast or she just wore it right through. I mean, she
She does sports?
she's fine. She just moves a lot. A little one. She just moves a lot.
All right, just to let you know, if you thought you were getting away by sitting over there, you're live streaming too. Start here, goes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm excluded.
Actually, you are. If you two ladies could move like 3 feet over, that'd be nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what do you live stream with?
YouTube. Through the Water's Edge, website. The new Water's Edge website, you've been on it for 3 months now, or 4 months, that little site.
Good.
Fast.
Is that better?
It's a better guys, huh?
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we'll shift it.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Okay. Coach Wade said he is coming.
He has 3 minutes.
You guys text me. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm here with you.
I don't know.
Hey,
Hey, Caroline.
Ryan. I thought we would have more people since we put the sign out so early, but you know.
Unless they have a complaint.
Well, I see that. Hello. You don't go to enough meetings.
I was just thinking the same thing.
So
You took the words right out of
Yeah, she
my
goes
mouth.
to so many back family meetings, when I told her so. Oh my God. 2 hours of hammer.
Something must be wrong with me.
You got a lot of time on your hands, that's all.
Really?
You're retired.
No, I'm not retired. I have a lot of work to do.
Oh my God.
If you always use that excuse, please.
Welcome. Sign in, please. Thank you.
All these excuses.
Which way is on the way?
Coach Way is on the way.
Yes, the drawings. Oh, we don't know how you do the one.
Coach Way is on the way.
So are people allowed, like I saw that side?
Yeah, it's just, yeah,
They can-
they're not making any changes, they're just repairing basically what was, should be there, you know, yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
I have a question. My neighbor's sprinklers pump, I guess, went out. So would you speak to Mr. Manuel?
Or you give me a call, yeah, either way,
Alright,
absolutely.
because I think he leaves like early in the morning and he doesn't come back till late at night.
Or just tell them to reach out to me and I can get them all over there and they'll leave a quote at the door, right, essentially basically what.
Alright.
Yeah, they'll all check it
Quote
out.
right there to the store.
Okay, awesome.
If Manuel hasn't got to it already.
Yeah,
Oh,
he might-
yeah.
Well, I know he's doing the ties right now for his blood check, so he should be going to water the next, so if he didn't, he will be
Okay,
probably at the beginning of next week. So,
alright, I'll contact you.
but either way, you can reach out to us, and, you know his address at the top of your head?
I think it's 3105. I'm 3115, so they go 10, right? And he's right before me. I think 3105.
I'm gonna put it over here for us to go check it out tomorrow.
There is a section that goes all out of whack on Santa Margarita, the numbers go
Oh, yeah.
bonkers.
So ours are like
They reverse,
Yeah,
they're even on the street
What's the
stuff.
street name?
Eden Court.
Yeah.
And it's, Leo,
Yeah, but
West.
you told me the 30 something.
They goofed up on the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3105.
I don't know why people don't sponsor it.
Right.
They want them to the mailbox, they didn't even come there. So it's like, they know the mailbox is broken. I don't know.
I think there's even a sticker on the inside to the company.
I know,
But,
I know.
you know, if we put them back, you know, get once a year, we'll get them all done. And if we're impressed with that, we'll put them up again once a year. Yeah.
Hello, welcome.
Oh, Schway.
Is that last time, Joshua?
He's right on time.
You're right.
Right on time.
Right. Okay, here's your agenda, it's on the table.
Oh, it's on there?
It's your.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
I do want to thank the board members for being so great and being so good about all the things that we're trying to do to make our HOA so much better. We've done a lot of good things, I think, and people have said that, which is good, but I do want to thank the board for being good and thank Wesley for being so compliant in all the things that we are doing. And Captain Dan for doing live
What do you
streams.
say about me about being compliant?
She left that part out.
At least you know it. 27 years. So that's, I just want to start off with that. I want to thank you all for coming. It's very good. We have refreshments afterwards. Of course, we always have to have refreshments afterwards. I mean, can't have a meeting without that. So, and, okay, and then also Bruce, thank you for doing all the financials. I always call Bruce and question everything that's going on. So he's been very good about, he's very compliant also.
I didn't catch that.
You're very compliant. Because I'm not married to you. So we can start with the agenda. We don't have a quorum, of course.
You do have one.
We do?
Yeah, three board members.
Three board members.
Just quorum of the board.
Of the board.
Yes.
Not of the, right, okay. So we do want to call the meeting to order. And I read the minutes. Did you guys read the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, we approve them.
Motion to approve the January 27th meeting minutes.
Okay, Melinda.
I made a
Melinda?
motion. Yeah.
Second, goes way.
Okay. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All passed 3-0.
The financial report I read over, and we have more money this time than we did last month. I saw $6,000 more.
You did have some expenses because of the
Right,
pressure washing,
the cleaning of the roof.
right, but those definitely our reserves.
Yes, so that didn't affect that, because we have 416,000, and last month we had 410. So,
Can I ask a question? It looks like the roof cleaning cost was less than what we had estimated?
No.
No, it wasn't.
Because we gave the money up front,
Oh, I
25%
got you.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I told Wesley that we can start for 2 years. The boss said that he would approve the same amount of money that it costs.
We're locked in, yeah.
Oh,
So we're
We're
locked
locked in
in,
the same
so I
price.
approved that, and I just want to let you know, I think that's a good deal. And then in 2 years after that, I'm sure the price would go up, he said maybe $1,000, but we don't know.
In 2 years, in 2024, he's expecting and planning on being able to do all the treatment work with a drone. So no walking on roofs, unless they need to get up there and actually clean it. But again, if it's just applying that roof side treatment, that last final coat, he's planning to be able to do all that from a drone.
So I was happy
That's
about knowing that, I thought that was a great idea, because, yes,
I have a question in regards to the roof. When they did that, did they also sort of check the roofs to make sure that they're okay?
they used a drone prior to even cleaning the roof and make sure that there were no cracks. They actually found, 3 people had bees, so they couldn't go up there, they had to have someone remove the bees first. And so they do the drones first to check it, and then they see if there's any situation, and then they correct it or somebody else.
The reason I ask is because my insurance is due and it just exploded, as you can imagine. So I went to a new company, and so of course, they're saying they have to check out the roof, and I said, please check it out, it's good, it's
Right.
good. So-
Yes,
According to the newspapers yesterday, roofs are the issue, older roofs like ours,
Yeah, exactly.
and the insurance companies are dropping us because the roofs are now 16 to 20 years old. All right, and that's why the state is gonna have a special legislative session dealing with that. But that is a deal.
but they did that before.
No, this is a real deal.
No, this is.
They're leaving.
Yeah.
I saw.
They're not insured.
Well, that's why we're gonna do the metal roof. We're going to do this metal roof.
Gonna do what?
The metal.
We're changing our roof
We have
before.
approved metal roofs for our HOA. And they look exactly like the tile, but they are metal, and they last 50 years.
50 years.
So wait a minute, you are gonna unilaterally
No.
change the roofs, is that?
No, we
No.
decided, the board decided that we have approved, when you change your roof, you can make a metal one if you want.
Oh.
If you want to do that, it costs more, of course, but if you look at Bushway, his color is not been approved, he's only kidding. He has a blue tar box.
Oh, you're the one that's.
I'm
Right.
promise you, it's done by 6272 to Hammock, and you will see, it's also an option, so it's there for us to shoot.
They really put a lot of padding on it, they really did an amazing job, I mean, we were watching it, it was fantastic, really. So we
I'm
want
looking
to,
forward to seeing how that turns out.
yes.
I'm sure you are too.
Yeah.
For many other reasons.
Right,
Right.
and also the other thing is that we use a drone, they say if you step on the metal roof, it could bend a little. So this is why it's better not to stand on the roof, because the other companies that clean the roofs and use Clorox or whatever that they're using, have to stand on the roof. And it kills the plants, this stuff does not, the herbicide stuff does not do it, and it constantly cleans the roof. There is stuff, when it rains, it cleans the roof, it gets the mold and everything off.
Yeah, it reactivates the treatment.
Right. So that's, yes.
You know, you have the roof come down and then the siding that goes around. It's always black underneath there. They clean that too when they.
If it's black underneath there, it's signs that your roof probably has a leak. If you have black draining down onto the side of your soffit, that's what a roofer's told me, is that's signs that there's leaks.
Oh,
I've seen so many of them. So.
well, the roofs are 18 years old. so
We
it's
just
not-
fixed for the second time. Last week, we had to go up and rip off.
We had that at the clubhouse here too, within the last, maybe about a year or so ago. He pointed out, there was no evidence on the inside, but he says that black dripping that you have on the fascia is signs your roof is leaking or about to go.
So that was my question, though, I just wanted to know if when they were preparing, if they sort of had a check.
They check
If
the
anything
roof,
was wrong with
the
your
roof, but the siding
Oh, the
is
siding.
different. But I did see them when the roof stuff, when they sprayed, I did see them spray the actual house. If some schmutz. I mean, dirt got on there. They did clean the houses.
Yeah, they rinsed off the whole side walls and windows.
That was very nice that they did that. Because the other companies, I never saw them do that. So I guess you have to check out your roof. Get somebody there to make sure it's okay. They will also not do the patio or the driveways. They won't do that.
But they didn't really do, I call it pressure wash, but it's not pressure wash.
Your roof didn't need to be pressure washed, but it got the treatment.
Right.
It got that treatment.
They don't do pressure wash.
At least not yet.
Right.
They're kind of a new company that's talking to that one other company, so right now all they have is the roof. But anyway.
Nicole, nice to see you. Welcome.
You also, getting back onto the financials, I also printed off, and I'm gonna do this, for the other meetings, as this grows, your most recent collections report from ASG. You should be receiving these as well. This will be part of the full financial report, it'll be in there as well. You have one file right now that is with ASG. I've got a couple files that we're in a 30-day wait period before we can actually send them over. We have given one last final official notice. Those have gone out, and when those are out, you'll see those this year.
ASG is a collection company, and we approve that because we were $10,000, we're not being collected. So they are going to try and get that money. If they don't get the money from us, they get it from the people that they owe it, and then they take that percentage off whatever money that they owe. So we don't pay anything until the end. And that's, really good for us. And we needed to collect that money. I think $10,000 has been on the books for a very long time. And
Are those folks still in living in the community?
yes, and people don't pay.
Our folks who are deadbeats with regards to that,
Right.
they ain't doing it.
Right, so I asked Bruce and Wesley who they use, and they use this company, and they're very good, they get their money, and I think we need to get our money back. That's what I.
You do have one unit that's selling, it's been around for a long time, 6303.
Yes,
Paradise Road is being sold, so you'll collect there. Hopefully the new owners will clean the place up.
yes, I know they have a lot of violations over there.
Yeah.
Now, is that in foreclosure, or no, they're just selling it?
No, they're selling.
Okay. Because I know there was a foreclosure.
It was a one time.
Yeah, and also 2 other houses sold in our neighborhood too, for a lot of money. Impressive for us. Okay, any other questions about that? Yes.
I did have a quick question in reference to the drones. Were there any before and after pictures?
The vendor has that for their records. It's one big video, they went house to house, so they have it for their records. It was for pre-inspection purposes and potential liability reasons. If someone were to say, you did this, they've got proof of what the roof looked like before. So it's all their files, it's not the associations.
And also afterwards, Wesley and I and the guy who owns the company drove around to see how the roofs work. And there were 5 houses that didn't look quite right. So in July, we're gonna go back into those houses and see if they got better with the rain or whatever, everything else. And if they're not right, he's gonna come back and fix them. He's gonna make them
He did come out and actually do a couple of them.
already.
Yes, since our last inspection, yeah.
And you said that when there were problems discovered, did you notify the homeowners for those that had problems initially?
Yeah, there was several houses that had bees. We couldn't get out, we couldn't finish the roof until the bees were removed out. So, when there was potential problem like that, we let people know.
But they were very good. They were very
Where's the lights?
They were very good about it. I mean, he didn't really say, no, but he was really, I was impressed with that, I thought. So that was good. Financial, anything else on financials? Okay. Thank you, Bruce, for giving us that. I'm sure you'll get a call from you later. New business. The housing colors. There used to be 5 different colors that were all brown. So now our color committee, Captain Dan and Scott, who's not here, so we have a full book of 20 different colors that you can pick from.
You want me to pass it around so people can take a look?
Please do. And we're gonna, they're all online. The Captain Dan.
So is there like a combination,
Yes.
for example,
You can mix and match.
you can,
Mix and match. We decided, the committee picked these different colors, and you can mix and match. You can make the trim this color and make a different color. You spend a lot of money on your house, which should make it look nice for yourselves. That's our feeling about it. And since we wanted to have different colors instead of gray or brown, you can see that the colors have improved. I think there's 18 colors in it or something like that.
I didn't count.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot.
And if you can mix and match, there's
There's
endless
even more than that,
possibilities.
right, there's even more than that. The books will be here, they're also online. You can look and see what colors there are, and we're gonna have several different books in case someone decides to take one, which they should be
On
doing.
on the website, on the
On the
front
website.
page, the home page are the colors.
Right.
Okay, so you don't have to have your own book. You're gonna paint, you can go on there and look at it.
And the paints are from,
Home Depot.
We got them in and they're stocked.
Make it easy.
Oh, people like that.
Yeah.
They have there,
That's the only one.
and there's a new type of paint that is,
Oh, yes.
fills cracks, has a 20-year lifespan. It doesn't cost very much more at all, and it's available in all those colors.
Is that the PPG or no?
No, it's from Bear.
Okay.
So that's very exciting, I thought too, that they found that out, that one of the houses had
It
that.
breathes, it allows your concrete to breathe as well,
And it fills the cracks, which is a big deal. And guarantees.
and it expands and contracts.
Right, so that, you can mix it with the paint.
Well, it comes,
Right.
colors.
So that's, I think that's an exciting thing. Yeah. Any questions about that? The question I had about that was, is there anywhere in our bylaws that said we have to hire a lawyer to do something about this? We all got letters, and I don't know if that was necessary. Do we have to do that? Instead of doing an email, the letters cost $124, the lawyer cost over $300. It was an expense, even though I approved it, and I agree that I didn't really know better. But
Bylaws, you have to.
are they, or there bylaws that said, even 10 years ago, they didn't do that with a lawyer, I'm sure,
No, there's no bylaw that requires the board
to hire a
to
lawyer.
hire a lawyer to implement changes in rules. You know, and
Right.
paint colors is kind of like a change in rule, but it's more of an architectural though, modification than really a rule change.
Was it necessary to do this? That's what I wanted to
You
find
didn't
out.
have to, you didn't have to go through the,
Okay.
not for
So
that.
for next time, I'm gonna try and, if something does come up about that, I would like not to have that happen. It was almost $500 and everybody got a letter, but you could do an email if you had to do something.
Well, special meeting notice has to be sent in there.
So it's not a special meeting.
No.
Did she consider that a change in rule?
No, it's not really a rule, which is, but you're changing, previous color standards, so.
Yeah, but the way the documents usually read is that the board can change colors from time to time.
They can, I just wanted to make sure that it was done the right way, and it would hold up if challenged. And so that was the
Well, is
base
that,
change, and even what's in the governing documents versus, what, maybe potentially happening out there. So anyway,
So how did she hear in the first place?
well, I spoke to Wesley about, we wanted to change the color, he said he wanted to just check and make
Sure,
sure.
once I get them involved, you know.
Right, well, they're always gonna try and get a copy, and I understand that, but it was my, I'm not
There's
just,
also caution.
and that's where, we don't have to be that cautious. That's where. And, if the board approves it and the committee does that, and we can bring it up at the meeting.
Right, and the residents,
Right. So that's the way we're gonna look at it for other things. I mean, there's gonna be other issues that come up. So, we're speaking about the old, issues that we had. You see the signs and our, children and pets.
Yes,
Go down
yes.
because people complain, so we did that.
yes.
The, front, the almond plants in the front,
Landscape.
the landscaping. Thank you to Joseph, I really twisted his ear about all that. We went around everywhere to look at the plants and, because I don't have to change them every 3 months, it costs too much money. And I figured these are annuals, you could just, and manuals also making sure we didn't have to be wiring.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And that's okay, that's good. That seems to be fine. We did that. Also, the mailboxes we had the mailboxes company come out, make sure that they were working the springs and all that. I didn't have a problem with your mailbox, let Leslie know. I found 2 mailboxes that were open, they couldn't close. So they will come out and whatever it costs, we have to get them fixed. First of all, it rains, the mail's gonna get wet, so. Not anybody gets mail these days, but still, I mean, still. That's, you know. So, if anybody have questions about those things that we've done so far?
Paint book make its way around?
Yes.
Any questions on the paint? The paint colors or?
So we can.
We'll take a motion, let me, just for management side of things, can people still repaint the same colors that they currently have?
Yes, yes.
They still can paint the same, they can match and repaint the color of the house they exist.
They're having bad.
If they remember the color, if they remember.
A lot of times painters can color match too.
Yes, you can go to Home Depot, they have a computer, and it just prints out the color, it's fantastic now.
Do we keep the existing colors on file and add them to this? Are these colors being added
That's
to?
why I'm saying that, because I look at the color of my house, I don't remember the name. You know, mine was Shirley Williams or whatever.
Yes, but if you take a chip of it, if you have a color, maybe you take it to Home Depot, they'll match it up.
Yeah.
Yes, you have a question?
No, it was, I think, Leslie?
Yes.
Yeah, but I alluded to that, these colors being added to the existing
I think
colors.
you
So
should.
the existing colors stay as well, okay, I just want to make sure that way when people come in to fill in, I have the instructions clear.
How many existing colors are left? Because they're stolen out of the book.
There were 5, I think, that was it.
I think there's only 5.
People took the color, that's why there were only 5, when we went to paint our house last year, it was like, where are all the colors? I know, the book was stolen, so that was it.
We're gonna repaint with new
We are
color.
now, we're gonna repaint our house because we didn't like it.
And you don't have to go with theirs,
No, we can,
it's just, that chip as you say, you're gonna get it done.
you get the colors done from the book or whatever, and you can match it up, and you can do any kind of you want.
Yeah, just take a page. I print these pages.
Yeah.
So you can take pages, it's not an issue if you need to match a color, and I'll present it on the page.
And then Melinda printed the pages on the website, so you can take it with you. I was just like, can you please tell me your names, please? My name is Cheryl.
Oh, shit, I've got the name tags,
Yes, I-
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you said it down.
I felt
Okay,
Post away.
okay.
Can you give me your board, position?
I'm the president of the HOA. It's on the website. If you look at watersedgebd.net, it's on the website, and our little bios on there.
Yeah, and then Melinda is the VP,
Yes.
and then Josue is the treasurer and secretary.
And Chris is the manager.
I'm nobody,
Big cheese.
I'm nobody.
Yeah.
So, going back to the paint colors, we'll take a motion to accept and add these new paint colors to the existing color book.
I make a motion, am I allowed to do it?
Sure.
Okay. A motion
Cheryl
to-
motions, we'll take a second.
I'll second.
Melinda, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
Can you, okay, I can tell me your name and, you know, just so everybody knows.
Oh my God, I don't see him.
Okay?
Lorna.
Lorna. What street?
Paradise School.
What street do you live on?
Paradise School.
Oh, okay, Paradise School, okay.
Pamela Atkinson, 3042 Santa Margarita.
Highway AV, and I live on Henry Park Road. Nicole Cruz.
On Eden. On Eden Court.
Sorry.
Sandy Francis.
Yeah, okay, very good.
So we will get more of these made up,
Yes,
and we'll have them soon for people to look at in the office if they'd like to see them in person. Yeah, we got shift with the sun.
yeah. we'll over it.
Your name.
I'm paying Tiffany on the lesser part of Sherman.
And I know Scott isn't here, but big thank you to the,
Oh, yes,
to the committee that put that together.
Yes.
Yes, I don't envy putting together paint colors.
I want to do that.
So, thank you for doing that.
That was on, the second thing on the agenda is I would like to stop using Roundup in our neighborhood. I can't control anybody else's neighborhood, but I want to do that. Roundup has been proven to have cause cancer.
And where's the using them?
They are still using Roundup.
We're using cheated quick.
Okay,
The
is that,
different, here's basically the variation. Obviously, Roundup is very toxic, extremely toxic.
Right.
It is also synthetically made though. The distributors, actually, most companies can't even get it anymore because the insurance companies obviously are saying they're not gonna do it because of all the problems. But the Cheetah Pro that we use, it's a natural form of it. It's a similar process, however, it's way less, I mean, obviously any kind of weed treatment is gonna be somewhat toxic, but it's very mildly toxic. And literally, as far as like pets and children and stuff like that, as soon as it dries, it's completely safe to walk on. And anybody, I mean, there's no absorption of nothing like that. And typically, especially this time of year, your dry time is around 5 minutes.
Can you send me that, name of that thing and
Yeah,
I'll look
absolutely.
it up? Because-
I can send you the breakdown too, because I actually have a chart to show the differences between the two.
Okay,
So,
because they did ban it in Europe and it's also, they just got a lawsuit or something that, for Roundup. And-
$15 billion.
oh yeah.
Hello. What my concern is that when the person sprays, you just leave a little thing on line, if they have, if each person has their own person coming to their house, they'll put a little card, they can do that.
Or doesn't trophy now. Well, typically the reality is that by the time that guy walks out of the backyard, let's say you want to try to what knock the dogs away, by the time he walks out of the backyard, the thing is already 99% dry. So it's not even as matter as far as being any kind of toxic or any kind of risk. I mean, let the dog or run over right over it before you sprayed it, it would almost be almost zero risk to the dog at all. So like I said, as soon as it fully dries, it's completely non-toxic at that point.
I'm gonna look it up and see if there's any problem with it.
And I'm not gonna say this, but obviously it is a product that is killing weeds. Obviously there is some form of, it is somewhat toxic as far as obviously when the guys, makes it whatnot, you have to wear gloves and stuff like that, and there's a whole process that we make them do. Because I don't trust that any chemical is,
Is there
100%
anything
safe.
else we could use that's not that? I don't know.
The biggest problem with that, we mess around with different weed killers. The problem is a lot of stuff is very ineffective. And as it is now, it's in the summertime especially, when these are going as fast as they are, a lot of the other products out there, well, here's the thing too, a lot of the products will change the name and they'll sell sometimes the same kind of ingredients. So even the stuff that they're selling as natural and safe, this and that, it's not, as far as, it's not always what it's chipped up to be, so.
The only options, because we researched this extensively in other communities where we spray miles of canals. You can buy a product on Amazon, and the guy actually manufactures it, lives in the community I'm in. That's a vinegar and salt product. And for small gardens and things like that, it's actually can be very effective. The trouble is you're spraying huge amounts of vinegar and salt change the pH of your soil and things. And so even though it's an all-natural product, and it will kill weeds, all right, but you're causing, you're changing the whole complexion of your soil when you do that. So we've researched it extensively. There are no natural products that work, You have to actually physically go out and just pull weeds.
We used to spray, we had trees that had that white spot. We had a guy that came out and used some kind of tobacco or something that, every month or two.
Well, like I said, in small applications, there's some, like this particular product,
Right.
it is effective. In your own yard, if you're sparingly, you can use it. But if you're doing large areas and there's nothing out there.
So you do is probably with tobacco stuff, but if you're just trying to target one central thing, like it's outside the spiral whitefly or whatnot, obviously there's certain things to do it. These chemicals are obviously, there's a whole lot of different weeds out there, and these chemicals have to kill pretty much all the weeds as far as on a broad spectrum. So as far as stuff like the whitefly, yeah, there's all kinds of things that they will only kill off of that whitefly.
Right, of course.
So it's,
So then when you have someone, for example, coming to spray around your house, then how do you know what they're around?
Well, it's coming from them.
No, I mean outside.
Oh, outside people coming in?
They come to just spray outside.
Yeah.
You're talking about for like roaches and things?
Yeah, whatever, to make sure you don't have any insects in the house. How do you then to find out from them what they're spraying.
If it's your own house, I can't control that.
Yeah,
I'm just asking for
That's a
an
private
idea.
residence, you know, you can't really. It's like putting a plant, if you want to plant certain plants, I can't, you know, you can't do anything about that, that's up to you.
I'm just,
I know, right, I understand.
all I'm saying is I'm just trying to bring up that idea.
Right.
That we're trying so hard to, not have all of this around you.
Right.
But then you have, another problem.
I will say one thing as far as the product that we use, a lot of farmers actually use the stuff to actually crop those crops as far as to actually kill off the weeds around them. And it's obviously, they consider it regardless, the toxic levels are so low. And the cheetah probably actually grow a crop does a lot of the crops that are actually sprayed with it. Keep the weeds down. That's crazy. I mean, it's actually, so that can use a little bit of peace of mind as far as it's obviously, it's not, yeah, well, pretty,
No, not to be rude, but I don't trust those guys either.
yeah.
Because the people that live around them get all kinds of things happening to them.
Right.
So, and the spray, kind of sprays into their property and all kinds of stuff. So nothing is 100% unless you're using, vegetarian or something, kind of holistic thing, but like you said, it has an effect also. So, but I'm gonna see what that is and.
I can email you all the information I have on it too as well, so
Good. I mean, I would
You
like
should
us,
copy me in that, too.
I sure will.
I would like us to be as safe as possible because that Roundup is cancer causing. And, there's just, and Hamel, I tried to talk to them about it and they blamed us for spraying around with the, lake where we live. And we're not spraying there. First of all, they're in the water, they're in the boat too. So that's definitely not us.
You talking about here?
Yes,
Well, that's Hamel.
that's what I just said. Hamel, when I had at the meeting, I said something, oh, that's not us.
Sure, it's them.
Sure, it's them, of course it's them.
Of course it's them.
But I'll bring that up next time, even though the meeting, I was just there. Yeah, that's another problem.
Just want to ask you that, I can't recall if I asked it before, like fertilizing the grass and stuff, is that our responsibility or this?
The HOA does that.
The HOA does that.
What they do?
They have a guy that comes around, I've seen that, and a little truck.
Vigilante or, something.
Is he in a truck? He's the one with the truck or something. Yeah.
Is there any
Is that a
kind
big
of?
truck that's out there?
ATV.
Little ATV.
Rich on deer,
Yeah, is it like a
I
truck?
know that.
That might probably, well, that's also, yeah, the pesticide spray.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
The pests and stuff, so. But they do, he does both, he does everything, so.
Okay.
Is there an annual schedule that they follow as far as applying pesticides, fertilization, various things like that? Is that on a schedule?
Yes. Yes. There is a schedule. I get a bill every month.
Now, they will come out and they'll actually spot spray. If we have certain issues, like where we start getting an insect infestation or like a fungus in the grass, they'll come out in between and actually will treat just that one particular area as well if something pops up, so. They have a schedule they follow, but they will also come out in between there. And those are the guys great. If I call them up, he's there the next day. If we see any issues in the community whatsoever, if Gary sees issues, they come right out and they spray that particular area. So yeah, there is a schedule, plus he comes out in between them as well.
Yes, so please tell either Wesley or Joseph about that because we pay every month to have these guys come out. And
Well, the thing is, you see, but you don't know, like, you see the truck and comes around, like, I know the deep guy, and he goes through the edges and he does that. But fertilization, I don't know, who's there doing that, and the grass doesn't look empty.
well, how's your sprinklers? Is sprinkler working? I mean, it should,
Yeah, it is working, maybe we need more sprinkler heads or something like
well, we can
that.
ask Joseph and Manuel, he's the.
What is your address?
Yeah.
6323 Paradise Road. This was dry all the time.
I'll have him come out there tomorrow, and the other gentleman you mentioned, I already actually texted them already, they were work order, so it'll be there in the morning for your neighbor's house, so.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here to bring that up. That's good.
I'm sorry, that was 6203,
63.
63 form.
Okay, okay.
Those things are important. Anything else that we want to talk about that? Okay, so that's done.
Open forum.
Open for, anybody have any issues to bring up for our HOA?
I just don't wanna assume that every people have issues.
I still have an issue with the basketball court thing, because I don't understand, there was a time when they were not allowed. And it's in front of the house, there's concrete things in the front, I mean, I don't understand why it can't be put in the back when they finish. It shouldn't be out on display, because before, from what I was told from another neighbor, when they used to have it, they were told that they had to put it away. And then now the rules have changed. I don't know if it's just a choice or they just can't be put away. I don't understand.
Well, actually, it's in the bylaws, which I've read, and they're not supposed to have the basketball thing on the road. or on the
It's
side.
not supposed to stay on the road when you're not used.
Right, you have to put it back, you have to put it away,
Put it up near the house.
right, but no one's.
But no one complies.
They weigh a lot because the base is filled with water.
Right.
We're saying, but
We're saying,
the previous boards did make a decision, not because it was a family community, they did, as long as it stayed off the street, they permitted the basketball hoops to remain at the curb. I was at that meeting, it was a long time ago, but that was the decision that was made by the board at the time.
I don't know.
I was very surprised, because I actually live full-time in Atlanta, so I'm not here very often, so I've only been here about 3 weeks at a time. And I was very surprised, because on Santa Margarita, there's one next to me, and as soon as you come into the complex, there's two down that.
yeah, yeah.
So I was incredibly surprised by that.
It's an eyesore.
Well, actually, what happens is if one person puts up something,
Yeah.
and they get away with it,
Yes.
then it just isn't. I have grandchildren who come here, and they estimate as to why they cannot have a basketball court, because the father is a fanatic for that. But the children know. But then again, if people have young children and they want a basketball court,
Yeah, but on a
put it
Sunday,
away,
yeah, on a Sunday, if you're resting, and then you're having bang. Then you come outside and you're trying to be, like, please, or they take the basketball and stay in your garage, and it keeps banging on your garage door. I think that's a problem too.
Well, if it's on your property, it's different than if on their property.
Yeah, but it's not, I'm talking about I'm talking about the sound itself on the weekends. I mean, there's no curfew for it. Anybody can do it at any random times, at any time.
Well, we do have kids here.
Yes, I understand that.
I mean, there are children and they do like to play, and it's a good thing to be outside.
Right, but not 8 or 9 o'clock in the night.
Well, what's different between now and in the past?
Right.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Are there more basketball hoops now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
I've been here I've only been here 5 years, but I have never seen one previously. And now I see like 3 or 4.
There's always, I've been involved with Water's Edge for, on and off, 10 years, there's been like 5 or 6 basketball hoops
Right.
at any given time in Water's Edge during that time.
Yeah, when I first came, there was nothing was out, and then all of a sudden it was out. And then I've had neighbors who told me that when they had their children play when they were younger, it was like, they weren't allowed to do it at all. And then now the rules have changed, and it's like, okay. At least it should be some kind of courteous thing for other neighbors as well. It shouldn't just be, just because it's a kid-friendly neighborhood, but there's adults that live here as well. It has to be an even play.
So I'm trying to think about do we do hours? Do we not do basketball hoops? We have to have basketball hoops because there's,
But
how
why
many
is
are
it?
there in the neighborhood? That's the other question.
Well, what you could say is, we could put it on the next meeting agenda, you guys can have time to read the docs,
Look it over.
look it over, and we'll bring it back for discussion and potential decision changes at that time. I mean, it's,
I think we should do that. What do you think? That's, yeah. Let's do this in a rational way to really see what's going on. And do you know the address where that is going on?
I mean, it's on my street, it's on another street. I mean, I've had various neighbors who have told me that it's not just me. I
No,
mean,
of course not.
right. So, I mean, it's not that they can't. I mean, I've had issues with, late in the night, it's like, when you come in to Eden Court, there's a house right in the corner, and the kids are just out. Then they're going on other people's property. Then I'm trying to pass with my dog, then they're blocking the whole thing, then another person, and I'm like, excuse me, and then it's like this rally with me and children. You know, I'm like, you know, I live here too, I need to pass. And they take up the whole street, and then the basketball thing is on the road.
Okay, that's not allowed. They're not
Oh,
allowed to be on
yes.
the road.
You
Okay.
need to visit Eden Court.
Yeah, I actually did that because someone else was saying, so I
Okay,
was
so
biking, I
now
was
you're
biking
on.
around there to see what was going on. And
Okay.
there are some on the street, and I know that the previous president had one too on the street.
Yeah, when you get in the cul-de-sac area,
Right.
more than one
Yes,
bicycle.
there's 2 or 3 of them there.
Yeah,
There's
right.
one, yeah, I know. Well, I think we should discuss, we're gonna discuss what you're bringing up, and we'll bring it up at our next meeting too, but we're gonna look at, I think all 3 of us are gonna go kind of cruise around and see what's happening,
Okay.
and at different times, and see what's happening with that.
Other thing.
Yeah.
The parking on the street. Melinda and I had this discussion. It's fine that people can park on their, you know, when they have parties and stuff, but in one occasion, she was there where I came home, I was walking, and my whole driveway was completely blocked. I just had a little wedge to get into my house, and my mom wasn't home. You know, my mom was at a certain age, she's not supposed to be maneuvering to get into our house. And then was kind enough to go and speak to the neighbors. And I guess you walk with them, they can stay in the area.
Yeah, it's a big parking lot.
Yeah, but it's my driveway. I shouldn't have to be maneuvered to get into my driveway.
Do you know what time that was?
It was in the evening, I mean, it shouldn't matter. When I'm coming home, I should be able to get into I shouldn't have to figure out, okay, go park here, I have to eat. I don't like to hassle the neighbor. Just park your car or on random days. I mean, I even had the mail lady say to me, because she couldn't in the day. She couldn't even go around because the cars were parked all the way out. She said to me, I was one occasion I couldn't even get to, I'm not supposed to really jump out of my vehicle to put in your mail. And I said, well, have you spoken to the aide? She's like, well, I'm gonna, put something in their mailbox. But I mean, if you have 10 cars or 5, 6 cars, you can't get on your driveway at random times. It shouldn't be at the sacrifice of everyone else.
Well, we can, if that happens, because you can have Wesley, and because I've seen cars on both sides of the street and you can't get through. That's the other thing. I mean, there's things that happen in our neighborhood, the street's not that wide.
Right.
So
But
that's-
then I'm pretty cordial with the lady at the security. I mean, random times I come out like 4 in the morning, or just my dog didn't feel or something. And the car's still out there, and I'm like, have you checked Eden Court? Have you checked Eden Court? Have you come? And so, and 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going, at 4 or 5, I'm walking, and I'm just like, I had an issue with one of the guys, it's like, I had a little temperament issue, but I'm like, it's your job to just check the street.
Well, there is a truck, there is the vehicle
Yeah.
that goes around, and they do get violations.
Right, but, I mean, I did it once because I was infuriated because we were doing it numerous days, like, it was like Monday, it was like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, straight, every day, the car was parked.
After 3 times, the cars get towed.
No, there's never been, because even I had an issue, and I was so frustrated, I was talking to Melinda, I was like, can I do this on my own terms, because no one's checking the street.
Because they're out there, I see the guys out there.
Well, if they, I've seen them, but I have to, I did it 4 times that I walked from my house, like 400 or 500, you see these sometimes, really, walk all the way up to him and say, have you checked Eden Court? Do you guys check Eden Court? And they're like, okay, or if I see them, I'm flagging them down.
Well, this is your own issue, but it's also issues for other people as well, but if you have an issue, I think,
If
it keeps going on.
we don't have parking or enforcement during the days, or even if it's overnight, that you have parking, you do not have 24/7 parking enforcement. The rovers do go around all the time, they've got check-in locations everywhere there, so we know that they have to go around. And they have to go through each location. They are given, where they are to track to the best of their abilities, how many cars can receive, how many violations, and how much period of time. So the board gave them 3 within a short period of time, couple months, reasonable time for that vehicle. After that, then it's subject to be towed.
Yeah, because we
I'm just
did.
telling you what I.
So.
But you don't have a rover during the day.
No, this was happening at 4 or 5 in the morning.
You're going from
She's
12,
seen me.
you don't walk on biking at that time, so.
There's been some violations issued on
Yeah.
Eden Court, so I mean, I know that.
So
back
is it the guards inside there
No.
who,
No.
somebody else who would be?
Yeah, that's
You have an evening rover that comes out.
Yeah, I've seen him many times, and if I see him again, I'll make sure he goes down to your street.
They should tuck it like, maybe 3 times a week.
Well, they're out there, I don't,
Every night.
yeah.
Okay.
Unless there was, we did have a call out, again, we don't make this public, but we did have a call out later on one night this last week, but nonetheless.
I'm at the early.
But they're allowed to be parked there till 2 AM in the
Yeah.
streets, and then, so it's a very, very short window of time to be able to even get much done if there's violations.
Well, maybe we can consider changing that, if that, we can talk about that also, like from 11 or 12 to 6 instead of 2 to 6.
I mean, I'm fair with the fact that people have family gatherings. That's not the issue. The issue is this with blatant disrespect.
Well, they shouldn't block their driveway, that's.
I mean, you go there, really decide. I mean, my mom,
They shouldn't block their driveway.
there was a little gap, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you serious? The whole, both sides of my driveway was blocked.
Okay, so we're gonna check that out and, research it and see if we can fix that for you. But it can't only be you, I mean, there's other people that have this problem too. Okay, and I'll make sure that I get back to you, we're gonna get back to you about it. Okay. We don't want you to be upset, and we can't be the only one that's happening to. All right. Anybody else have anything to bring up? Okay, well, there are refreshments.
Motion to adjourn,
Yes, motion to adjourn.
7:15.
7:15. And we have drinks, I've got apple cider, sparkling apple cider, it's not alcoholic, but it's fun with champagne glasses. Little pizza swirls and fruit.
That's right. Yes.
And thank you for coming, very much. Thank you.
I've got it on the buzzer, but it's it's horrendous. It's dying a slow death.
Thank you for being here.
You can show up every once in a while.
Some meat,
There you go.
pizza roll. Now it's. No, okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's the whole.
Well, I actually don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.